Here we are with the Alchemist, and today we're going to talk about some kits of the month and some experimental stuff that's coming up. The place to start off, because maybe there are people out there that don't know anything about the kit of the month, is what is the kit of the month?
It is, it's really just to show people that at the end of the day, it's really simple to make chocolate. You get all the ingredients all weighed out, you get nibs that are all roasted, and it's really no more complicated than sort of like baking a cake or something. It's like a box mix.
Yeah, or like a curiosity box or
Yeah, it's something like that. So every month you get something that I've been interested in and that I'm trying to just bring you into without you having to dive super, super deep. And sort of like learning a language, you just do it for a while and realize it's not that scary.
there's a lot of steps, but they're not that complicated.
Right. Well, and this takes out a bunch of them. This takes out choosing a bean. This takes out roasting. It takes out cracking and winnowing. You're really down to making the chocolate, tasting it, a little bit of comparison between what I send, because I usually send a small sample of what I've made, and you get to play with tempering.
So it's educational.
It is absolutely educational. That is the intent. And in a sort of very non-commercialistic way, my goal, which doesn't make a lot of good business sense, is that you stop being subscribed to it. You get so comfortable, it's like neat, but I want to go ahead and explore some more. And so I'm going to unsubscribe and start buying maybe nibs or roasted beans on my own and progress on your own.
Is it the same bean every month? Or
Oh, absolutely not. No, the beans change. Pretty much everything changes. It's a different bean. It's always a different roast, a different formulation. I actually work very specifically to make sure they're different every time. I'll look back and make sure I'm not repeating myself.
So even if you were an experienced chocolate maker, it wouldn't be bad to have, because it'd be a good way to experiment with other beans for low cost, right?
It is. And every so often, and it's not a set pattern, every so often I'll go into a little micro series. I did indeed do one bean 3 months in a row and very specifically showed how a different roast profile changed the finished chocolate.
Well, that's really interesting.
Well, this goes up with one of the kind of open secrets that in some ways chocolate, I don't want to say has lost its appeal for me, but it is my day job. It's what we do here. And so I've lost a little bit of the excitement. And sometimes it's a struggle to come up with a new kit every month. And I'm going to segue myself for this and say it's got me into experimenting with some other chocolates, but ones that have gotten so complicated, I can't make them intro kits.
Right. Okay. So now that's a nice segue. Well done.
Thank you.
So that brings us to, what is the difference between this and the new thing that we don't even technically have a name for or a date that we're going to do, but it's in the works?
Right. And I'm going to, just as a method to keep myself honest and on target, I'm trying to launch it at the turn of the year. That's what I'm hoping for. I might miss, but that's the goal. And what it is, it's whether you want to call it an alchemist kit or an experimental kit, it's one of those two. And the huge difference is you've got to be invested in this one. This one is not going to be turnkey. So the other one, you took ingredients. I gave you everything pre-weighed out, and you dumped it in the melanger with just a little bit of methodology, and out popped chocolate. Let's back up a second. I've been frustrated that there's been a couple chocolates I've wanted to offer in the kit of the month that I've not been able to. And one of them's been an orange milk chocolate. I have a secret love affair with loving orange chocolate. But the only good way to do it that I found is with an orange extract. And there's no good way for me to ship that to people. But I've also not wanted to require people to go out and buy orange oil. Well, what I'm doing is instead setting up an entire new kit with the intent that you're signing on, and there's going to be work involved. I'm going to tell you what to do, and I'll try to even give you sources, but you're going to have to go out and sometimes buy your own ingredients. And hopefully what gets you going is the excitement is something different. I've got a lime milk chocolate, a ruby milk chocolate from the very beginning, where I don't hand you pre-treated nibs. You start from the beginning. Instead, I might send you the citric acid, but you might need to go get it yourself. And some of these others are, an orange milk chocolate. You're going to need to go buy orange oil or maybe some dried orange peel. That one's in the works. Another I've got looking at is a fig fennel and maybe a brown butter with Parmesan cheese. Just things that I think get outside of the normal. So far, I have made a caipirinha chocolate, and it is the caipirinha is the Brazilian cocktail, and it's made with cachaça, their local rum-like liquor, lime and brown sugar. And I've worked out how to do that into a bar. But they would have to go buy their own cachaça at a liquor store, pick up their fresh limes, and buy their brown sugar. And I'll give them all the methodology. They don't have to worry about the recipe working, but they're going to have to put some work in.
It's the next level.
It's the next level, and not 70% just chocolate bars. I made a mole bar, and not to everybody's liking, but nobody called it boring. Nobody at all called it boring. And there's one here I wanted, napalm spice, which has got pepper, cloves, and black peppercorns. Different things. Hopped wild rice with smoked sea salt.
You sound like a small batch chocolate maker.
I do. I kind of do, but I don't want to be a small batch chocolate maker, but I want to make these because I find them fun. I find them fun to eat. And I want to bring that joy to other people if they want to come along.
You enjoy the experimenting, but not the production.
Deeply. Yeah. Yes.
So is there anything else you think we should tell people? Because I want to keep it relatively short, right?
No, that's about it. It's the biggest thing is it's experimental, and you are not guaranteed to like everything. And it's going to be just a bunch of different stuff. And it's the novelty.
So from a practical standpoint, if I signed up to this, are you publishing a few months in advance, or are you just going month to month like the Kid of the Month does? Or
I don't have that fleshed out yet. So part of why this hasn't launched yet is these take a lot more work and sometimes take 2 or 3 or 4 iterations so that they actually stand a chance at actually being a good chocolate.
The reason I asked was because if I was signed up and I knew that one with the pepper and cloves and all that was coming down the pipe, I know that's not for me on any level.
Right.
Could I pause my subscription and then pick back up the next month?
Yes, all of our subscriptions, you can go in and individually pause a month and pick it right back up the next month. And in this particular case, my goal had been to have 12 of these so that I was guaranteed to have a year's worth. And I've got only 4 at the moment, and I'd like to over the next couple months at least get double that, get 8 of them, and then publish those so people can look at it and sort of make a decision. And the only other thing I will say is, unlike the Kid of the Month that is ongoing, this one, my gut feeling's telling me maybe to make it a 1-year subscription.
Right.
You're going to subscribe for 12. And when it's done, maybe we'll look at renewing it. But so maybe it's a 1-year experimental, and we'll see how it goes. See if everybody's liking it, see if it's worth everybody's time and effort, and see if it's bringing joy to people. Oh, the other thing I'd like to say is I'd love to hear ideas. That would be cool. Challenge me. Make me come up with something.
Okay. That's great. I think that gives people a little bit of a glimpse of what's coming down the pipe, and we'll put it out there and see how people feel.
All right. Yeah. I hope people get excited and that it's not just me excited by it, because I get excited by enough stuff. I want other people to be excited.
Okay. That's all for today. For those of you interested in finding out more about the Kid of the Month, I will make the links available in the right places for whichever platform you're listening on. This month's kit, which went out on the 20th like they do every month, was a 56 to 62% Ethiopian spice-inspired Choose Your Own Adventure. Next month, we're doing a fan favorite for the holidays, the Holiday Spice Milk Chocolate. That's in November 2022. Thanks for listening. Now go make some chocolate. John's gonna kill me for stealing his line.